everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Boss Ravioli Queen.
I said I had
with
another
your
second.
two favorite caregivers, Nicole Ravioli.
Boss Lady Amy.
As you see, we've added a person, another caregiver. But this caregiver is new and has all of the new feelings that we have experienced in the past, but can't really get in touch with anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so first, what's your name?
My name is Maddie. What's your name?
We already said our name.
I don't. Still.
Okay, before we get
Never
too
met you
far
before on my lights.
No. Before we get too far off, shameless plug.
Ding. Hi.
Hello.
If you're new here, welcome. God damn it. Okay, so we are two caregivers, well, three today, who've been doing this for a long time, minus this one. And we decided to start a podcast about caregiving, caregiver advocacy, healthcare, all things relating to healthcare, all that good stuff. So you can go back and you can watch our old videos on YouTube. You can also go back and listen to all of our old audio-only episodes anywhere you listen to podcasts other than Apple. You can also stay tuned for our new videos, which we release every week on YouTube. Okay, well, when we don't have technical difficulties, we release them every week, which I'm sure we'll be addressing soon, probably after the shameless plug. But anyway, come along on this journey with us. Learn,
Explore.
laugh, cry.
Laugh and cry at the same time.
Shameless plug over?
Yeah.
Dink. Okay, so before we get into anything, yeah, we should address the technical difficulty situation.
I guess. So as some of you may have noticed, if you keep up to date with us, we haven't had an episode in a few weeks.
Like 3?
Yeah, I think this is 3. So by the time this gets posted, it might be 4, honestly. We've been having some technical difficulties with the editing, and, well, I'll give it to you straight. We forgot to shut the camera off. And apparently we have a 3-hour-long video that now needs to be edited the hell out of. So, sorry.
Yeah, so we're learning. We have brand new equipment, as we have explained and talked about multiple times now in some of our previous episodes. Yeah, and with that comes remembering to shut the stuff off. That's before we were using a phone, so we've upgraded a lot. But yeah, so we gotta work on some things. But we have the episodes I filmed there. I mean, we got them. We just need to edit them and release them. So
That part. Okay, since we only have probably about 20 minutes now, right?
probably.
Yeah. There's also that. We'll figure that out eventually too. Anyways. So Maddie has been caregiving for about 3 months now.
Actually, yesterday was 3 months.
Nice. Okay.
So 3 months, still a baby caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Just being a bit. I feel like I've been doing it for a while, but also my knowledge I know is not like I've been doing it for a while. I also have a lot of frustrations that I think we've had conversations with, and also things that I love about the job that I don't know if y'all still feel, or if you still have those frustrations, or you still have those same feelings, or it's just kind of like it kind of got pushed back and it was like, well, that's kind of how it is.
That, actually.
Yeah.
You just kind of learn to make amends with it and like do your job as best you can and you move forward.
I was just about to say, so much of caregiving is just accepting that there's going to be a lot of things that unfortunately you cannot change, whether it's because of company policies, or a family member doesn't like a certain thing, or the guardian doesn't approve, or what have you. There's so many things. Or it comes down to, oh, we can't afford that. Like, sometimes you gotta kind of just learn to be like, yep, this sucks.
There's only so much we can actually do as DSPs or even leads. There's only so much we can do, which is in a way frustrating because there's things that you want to do more of, and I have all these like hopes and dreams of avocation, but that doesn't mean that my hopes and dreams of avocation will go anywhere.
We should explain what a DSP is.
You get some. Oh, okay. Sorry, a caregiver, direct support person.
So caregiver, direct support person, provider, sometimes also known as RA, like resident assistant.
Yep. PCW, personal care worker.
BHT, isn't that another one?
That's behavioral health technician.
Yeah.
That's more of a CNA kind of thing usually.
Yep. I think those are all the terms that are pretty like used.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And our company uses DSP though. Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
So, I guess we'll jump right into the big guns. So Maddie just got a promotion to be, we don't use our own job titles for personal reasons, so we're just gonna say she's gonna be overseeing the house that she works at.
Yeah. Management, coordinator, director, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Yep. So how are we feeling about that?
I'm very excited, mainly because this is what I want to do with my life. I want to work in healthcare. I want to work up to being a registered nurse, and at some point, maybe a licensed nurse practitioner. And I want to keep kind of climbing up. I would have a hope and a dream of ever, becoming a doctor, but I can't really see that for myself. So this to me is one step closer to my dream. This is one step closer to more knowledge. This is more experience under my belt in a very fast time frame that I was not expecting, but also something I'm very, very grateful for. I'm also scared because I don't know everything that a lot of people do know. Nicole also is, possibly moving up into that position, has also been in that position before, twice the position that I'm in now, Amy as well. And they can know hell of a lot more than I'm going to know. And by the time I've been doing this for their time, they're going to know exponentially more than I'm going to know at that point. So it's a lot to take on. And I want to know everything, but I need time and experience.
Absolutely.
To know that.
Okay, so yeah, I guess how do you feel about the fact that you've only been doing this for 3 months and you're already being looked at as somebody who's trusted enough to be in that position?
So part of me was thinking, okay, they might have done this because I am new and the company can kind of mold me into what they need, what they like, because every company is different. And then the other part of me is really, I guess, humbled is the right word, because I've never seen myself as this amazing person that people recognize and whatnot. And I've never really been recognized too much in other companies. I've also mainly worked in food service my whole life. I have had a managing job at a ski mountain when I was very young, but also it was to ski mountain. This isn't people's lives. So it is very, very different for me. I was really shocked because I had upper management come to me and ask for me to apply. So I was very shocked by that. It was something that I had thought about applying for, but in my head I was like, I'm never going to get it. I've only been doing this for 3 months. So it feels really good to be recognized. I also know that, like I've said, I think it partly had to do with they would like to mold someone into what the company likes. Nicole kind of made a comment about, what was it? what was the word they used when they were poaching?
Yeah.
Poaching? Yeah. Which is also something that's really, really scary to think about. But for me, I'm also sitting here, I'm like, okay, maybe that is the case, but also I'm going to gain experience. Could I possibly get frustrated? Could this possibly be a poaching experience? Yes. And also, I'm going to learn a lot. And that's what means a lot to me.
I had also mentioned that, like, if for whatever reason it's too much or, like, you just aren't feeling it, you can step down at any point. You just make sure you give, like, usually a month's notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is actually really helpful for you to tell me about, because, like, you've had to in the past as well.
Yeah, and, like, that, it's never a good feeling because you feel like you're letting your residents and your staff down, but at the same time, you're only one person, and if you're burnt out, you're burnt out, and if you can't do it anymore, you can't do it anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. And actually, before I was thinking about not accepting the job, I was thinking about not even going to the interview, was because what happens if I hit a point where I feel like I'm going to fail the residents because I have to step down, because I do know multiple people in this position have had to. Just
But also at the same time, that's not a failure. Like recognizing,
I was thinking that I was going to call myself that.
yeah, like the recognizing that you have to step down and that would be the best thing for them.
Yeah.
Is really a great act of strength.
It is.
Yeah. And I see that, and with both of you guys, it was like, am I going to be a failure of this? And there's all these like external circumstances in my life that make it hard. And that was what was running through my head. And then the other part that was running through my head was, oh my God, this is actually one step closer to my dream. This is one more step that I have. It's a small step, and it's,
And you know,
Yeah.
in caregiving, like when you genuinely feel validated, when that is like genuine and somebody really means it, you take that shit and you run with it, because you don't get that often. So
Yeah.
when somebody is telling you, like in caregiving specifically, that they really genuinely appreciate you, and it's not just like, oh, I thank you for helping out so much, and it's very like, you could tell it comes from the heart.
yeah.
That means that you were meant to do that. You know,
Yeah.
like that means that you were meant to be put in that position.
Yeah, I had a lot of I'm a very spiritual person. I had a lot of spiritual, and I don't even know if I talked to you about this.
You kind of did.
Is that like I had this like gut feeling. I was like, there's this in my life. I have my fiance who's gonna be having a surgery. I myself take medications for my own health. I've been in similar positions where I needed a caregiver because I've lived in places kind of similar. You know, I've been in the same place as some of these people, so I was like, my health is one, you know, external circumstance. My partner's health is one external circumstance, and also I've never done this before. But in my gut, I was like, wow, like this is something I really, really want to fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, can I curse? I'm so sorry.
Yes. Yeah, you can.
I just realized that.
So I guess, do you have any questions for Boss Lady Amy or myself?
I'm going to, as I'm doing it. I mean, and I also bring stuff up to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about this? Because this is going to be like, you know, something I'm sure you guys talk about, is like, how do you handle someone that is an employee under you being rude? You know, like, I don't ever see myself as I am above this person, I'm better than them. I see, like, going into this, and I have gone into this with, like, you know, prior management, is that I am just in a position to help people accomplish like their purpose in the job and be the best versions of themselves. I don't see myself as better than. It's just, also I do the paperwork, and
I've said that so many times where it's like, we're all caregivers, we're all resident assistants or whatever you want to call it. It's just that I get paid a little bit more because I do more paperwork and I have more headaches sometimes. Yeah. Okay, so handling somebody that's rude. You know, I'm of the belief that we what?
this just almost exploded.
Yeah, it really did. Oh, we're okay now. We're not spicy.
His mic caught the.
It probably did. It probably cut the rest of the too.
Yeah, that would have not been fun.
Yeah. So I'm of the belief that we're all humans. And yeah, I'm not above anybody, and I also believe that nobody is above me. So with
Yeah.
that being said, oftentimes, I mean, I am a smart ass. So like if you're gonna be rude to me, I'm probably gonna give your behavior back in a nice professional way.
Yep.
Usually I will be like, damn, what's wrong with you? Like, what did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed or something?
Two pissed in your Cheerios this morning.
Exactly, yeah. And if that's not enough to like kind of
Drop the hint.
yeah, like shake them out of it. Because usually by that point, if you're saying something, most people will be like, oh, like, okay, obviously my bad mood is noticeable. Then, I might have to pull them aside and be like, hey, so we can't do this. I actually just encountered this recently. And I went through a very similar situation. And I had to just talk to them like human beings. I had to be understanding of the situation because it's never the situation at hand that sets a person off. It's the 10 million other things they have going on in the background, and that is just the cherry on top. So I mean, you can approach it as like, oh, I'm your manager, you're being insubordinate, but you're not really gonna get anywhere.
Yeah, and that's not like how I feel towards anybody, because there's been plenty of times where I've been, just in a regular employee position and I didn't like my manager. I've had plenty of managers I did not like, but I find I treat them with respect and I just ask for like, the respect back. But it's kind of like hard because if you're in a position where you're lower than your management, it makes it hard because you can stick up for yourself, but also a lot of the times corporate or whoever takes their side.
Really?
Yeah.
Which is, it's hard. And I never actually really had experiences with, let's just say, shitty employees when I was working in management at the ski mountain. I had very little times where that was an issue. And I worked on people's shifts. I worked on like telling where someone is going to go on the mountain that day. I work very hands-on in that situation, and similar to how this one is working hands-on with paperwork, like shift planning, all of that.
It's a matter of respect. I mean, if you show your staff that you actually genuinely care about them as people, they will grant you the same respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've had to work really hard to do that with my team, and I mean, we're all like, we mesh well together because they know that they can come and talk to me about anything, and because it's not going to go anywhere, because I mean, I'm most likely going to forget it. Like that kind of thing, it's just not a big deal to me. I'm not going to make a big thing out of it. And I mean, it really just comes down to treating each other as equals.
Yeah. And I guess in my case, like in the past, I've had problems being like more direct with my staff. But that's like been out the window for a while. So if I'm noticing,
If the past has taught us anything.
oh boy. So if I notice that someone is either like coming for me in a certain way or
My God.
you stop.
My God.
If someone is coming for me in like a disrespectful way, I'm just gonna be like, you need to check that.
Yeah.
Like what is the issue here? What can we do to come up with a solution to this problem?
Right.
Because clearly there's a problem.
That is my thing, is I'm always asking, okay, first of all, what's the problem? Okay, so you told me the problem. And I always say, how can I help you with that? And if they say they can't or you can't, which I hear often, I'm going to say why. Why can't I help you with that? Why is this something that we cannot solve? And if I don't get like usually at that point, I'm either not going to get a response or it's going to be one of those, well, and then it's like, okay, so you actually don't feel like problem solving. You just want to bitch. That's fine, but you need to say that. you can bitch. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
But you can't expect me to listen to you complain about the same thing over and over and over again. And then it's not going to become a problem if you don't want to hear any solutions.
Yep. And another huge thing is like making sure that your staff know that you appreciate them and what they do. I'm not saying you have to go and buy gifts or anything, but like, hey, everything was super clean when I came in. Thanks for doing such a great job keeping up with that.
Yeah.
You know,
Or like, oh my God, it smells amazing in here.
I've always agreed, loved like appreciation even coming from like management. Yeah, it's like sometimes things, depending on whatever job you're in, things can be extremely stressful. And sometimes you just have a management come in and be like, hey, you're doing a good job. It can really just make a shitty day become a lot better of a day.
I tell my staff all of the time, there is not a single thing that I would ask you guys to do that I wouldn't do myself.
Yep.
Not
I 100% agree with that all the time. There's been a lot of like places I've been where I felt very frustrated because like management will ask staff to do things that just they would never do themselves. They wouldn't touch, and then criticize what you're doing.
Yep.
That's such a frustrating feeling.
Jump on the floor any day. Do I want to? No. Would I like to sit in my comfy spinny chair all day at my computer? Yes. Do I have that option? No.
No. No, not at all.
And like, for me, it's just roll things off. Like everybody tells me all the time, oh, you're so calm. I am not. I am not calm whatsoever. I'm one of the least calm people that I know.
Can confirm.
We adjust mask.
However, nobody else needs to know that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like, as long as I'm calm in the moment and I'm handling things the way that they need to be done, nobody else needs to know that on the inside, I've already talked myself off the ledge 15 times today.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely.
Like, just roll it off. And some stuff just doesn't matter. Like, there's so many things where I'm like, this is just not a thing. It doesn't need to be. It is not an issue, and don't make it one.
I've said this to her at Dairy Queen. It is just ice cream. Sometimes I would make it so deep, and I'm like, it's just ice cream. It's okay. It's only ice cream.
Or like, like in the past, I would get calls about like, oh, so-and-so had a med error. Oh my God, what was it? Oh, they missed their calcium. Like,
why didn't we call the pharmacist?
And like, it's calcium.
It's calcium.
It's calcium. Their bones aren't breaking.
Give them a glass
in
of milk.
the next 2 days or 2 minutes. Like, just
Give me a glass of milk.
Yeah, give them a glass of milk. Give them the calcium tomorrow. So it's fine.
Yeah. So actually, this is something else that like I don't think I've complained about it, but how do you guys handle having to deal with guardians that don't seem to care about their consumer or put in the effort to their health? So like what I've experienced is trying to advocate for us. We're just going to say just a specific consumer, and they didn't want to hear that or even try to help them with that problem. And there's only so much like we can do. Like I can't write a doctor's note. I have my like opinions about something, but I can't sit there, write a doctor's note and help out this resident.
If you bother them enough, they might. They might dislike you for it in the end because obviously you're taking up their time or whatever. But if you bother them enough about it and be persistent with it, then sometimes they'll give in and be like, oh, fine, just take them.
Yeah, that's kind of, I was in a situation where I just kind of kept putting in observation notes because I'm like, what is it? The squeaky wheel gets what's the saying? The squeaky wheel gets the cheese.
Gets the grease.
The grease. Yeah, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The cheese?
I don't know that. Yeah, but yeah. That was my attempt at it. I am still very much attempting it.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to keep at it. And honestly, it gets to be kind of like,
Repetitive.
well, not only repetitive, but like it can be a little discouraging because you're gonna get a lot of no's before you get the yes.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it just comes down to advocating for your residents. And I mean, like you said, we can't write doctor's notes. We can't we can't make specific appointments without the guardian's approval.
Yep.
So, I mean, you also have to realize that it's not a you problem, it's a them problem.
Yeah.
I go through this a lot in the facility that I manage because, like, I deal with members of the community. I don't deal with people where, like, I'm overseeing their doctor's visits and things like that. So, like, a lot of the stuff that, I wish I was privy to just because it would help us take better care of them, I'm just not. And, there's been so many times where I wish, like, oh, like, let me just call this doctor's office. I wish I could do that, but I can't.
Yep.
Like, or, I wish, oh, I could ask about this, but I just can't. And, it's kind of like,
Your hands get really tied and it's a frustrating feeling.
exactly, yeah. And then, like, I have one person that comes to mind where they desperately need, like, a female influence. Like, they live with all males, and I sincerely wish that we could, like, take this person out on the weekends, take them to get their nails done, or just, like, recommend, like, can there just be, like, a female presence in the house? Like, can we just,
Yeah.
can we get a little estrogen going? But, like, that's just not something that I'm allowed to do or say. And I just so desperately wish that I could. It's just one of those things where sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut when it sucks.
Yeah. There's like things that you desperately wish you could do for someone and you can't. You just can't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like trying to find different ways to then, okay, so this is how I'm going to go about it this way. Okay, so then we're going to try it this way. Like tomorrow, that's what I'm basically doing, is reaching out to a guardian to try it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you can say things like 600 different ways and they'll disagree with you.
Yeah.
And you'll be saying the same thing. And then, I don't know, the 601st time you say the same thing again, but in another different way. And they're just like, you know what? I like that. Yeah. You're like,
It's super frustrating, but if it gets you good results in the end, it's a win.
It's a win. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, final thoughts?
I don't know. You guys any questions for me?
What are you looking forward to the most about this promotion?
Advocation for the ladies, being a voice. To me, that's like the biggest thing. Like if I can help them and I can just make their day just a little bit better, make it feel a little bit more like home and less like this is a job or anything like that. That to me is what I really look forward to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like giving a voice to someone that doesn't. Some of them, don't even have really a voice.
Okay, so I'm gonna go kind of like the flip side. What are you most like nervous about with this?
It was actually what I brought up earlier. What I asked the question about is dealing with staff more so than anything, because I'm not as much a confrontational person. I don't like making people feel uncomfortable. I don't like having those uncomfortable conversations. I also know they need to happen, and those are things that like I need support on. And I think I've told that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've been there, and while you do catch more flies, bees, whatever, with honey than salt.
This is like this is one I've never heard.
Vinegar. Salty vinegar. Oh, man. It's been a long day. While you catch more bees with honey than vinegar, there are times when you have to be kind of like stern and like stand your ground with things. And like I said, I used to not do that, and it really made my life and my job a lot harder to do.
Yeah.
Also, a joke goes a long way.
Yeah, dude.
You can make some of the worst situations uncomfortable by just laughing. Or, like, not uncomfortable. Sorry. You can make some of the worst situations better. That's what I meant to say. More comfortable by just laughing.
I also remembered something with the whole staff appreciation thing. So, like, obviously they have like a fund for that. It's not very much though. So, what I used to do is what I learned from Miss Boss Lady Amy. I used to keep stocked on like feminine products for, just in case someone doesn't have things for their time of the month.
That's really smart.
And then also keeping like flavored water on hand at the house for staff as well.
The old management did that.
Yeah.
For us. Yeah.
Probably because of Boss Lady Amy.
Probably. Actually, yeah, because you trained them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and see, it's a really nice, like, it's kind of a loophole because so there is like a specific like budget that's built for that, but when you break it down, the amount that you actually get, it depending on how much you have, it's like $8 a person or something. And so what I did is I kind of found a loophole where I like purchased things that they were still for the house, but they were specifically for the staff. So I didn't have to like take it out of any specific budget. And so yeah, I would like keep snacks and flavored water, and I put together like a little basket with like hairbands and bobby pins and tampons and lotion and all kinds of stuff.
It's awesome.
And it's just a way of like, it's not like you're directly giving something to somebody, but it's just a way of being like, I care. Like, I care, about your needs when you're here.
Yeah. And sometimes you're there for 14, 15 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's just a little way of just being like, I appreciate you. Just going that extra mile, even just giving your staff a card on their birthday, just, remembering, or like just them seeing that you remember their birthday is so big.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I used to get like one of the really big cupcakes from a grocery store bakery.
Yeah, a lot of them have them. Yeah.
For my staff on their birthdays. And I mean, whilst I wasn't the most confrontational person, they did still appreciate it.
I was going back to the confrontation and making a joke thing. Sometimes you can also like use that to get your staff to open up to you about like what's actually been going on.
Yeah.
And like why they've been a shitty worker all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like sometimes all it takes is just laughing and being like, dude, what were you thinking? Like one time I told my staff, I'm like, really guys, like you had to make me do my job. And then we all started laughing. Like it's like that's all you need to do is like, come on. Now I have to do my job and talk to you, and you don't want me to do that. And then it gets people talking, and then before you know it, you've found the root of the problem. And I mean, it doesn't always work like that. There are some people that are so private that no matter what, they've got that hard line between work and personal, and they're never going to talk to you like that. It doesn't work for everybody, but it does work sometimes.
And you've also got the people who are too proud to ask for help. So, like, if you see someone struggling and they deny the help that you're offering, just be like, no, it's okay. And just do it anyway. Because they're going to appreciate it. Regardless.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Should we tell the story?
Which one? Which one?
I'm seven.
The one where you called me and you were like, so can you actually work that knock? And I was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that story. So listen, when Boss Lady Amy was my boss, I was picking up hella hours at that time. And I picked up, I think, an extra like 24 hours that week.
PM knock.
Yeah. But just like that week alone, I had already worked like 2 p.m. knocks. And I think I put myself on like a third one. And they were consecutive.
Yeah, you did. And I was like, that's many hours. I was like, I can come in and work the knock. Would you like me to do that? And she was like, nah, I got this. And I'm like, nah, I surely don't. And then she called me later and she was like, hey, so actually, can you work that knock? And I was like, I sure can, because I knew I was gonna.
Listen, by the end of my shift, I was done for. There was no life.
Yeah, she was not okay.
But then I still stayed and talked for like 2 hours, I think.
Yeah, and I was like, weren't you gonna go home?
I was like, yeah, but I'm off the clock now, so it doesn't matter.
My brain function has stopped. Now I can just talk.
Suddenly, that's happened to me so many times where I've been dead tired, and then the minute I'm off the clock, I'm like, I am revitalized. I am
great. I'm going home. This is great.
And then we just talk and talk and talk, and then the person's like, "Go the fuck home." I'm like, yeah.
I've had that time where it was like, so I had the 212s this weekend, previous week I had the 212s, and then I had the 14 on a Monday, and I texted and I said, "Oh my god, I'm so tired." And then I got home and I was like, actually, I'm not tired anymore. I can run a marathon.
Yeah, I think you still stayed up until like 4 a.m.
Probably. Probably.
All right. Well, I think it's about that time, folks. So
Oh yeah, when then such a Midwest goodbye. Final thoughts for probably 15 minutes ago.
Probably. So we're gonna skip right over the final thoughts because honestly,
we already had them.
yeah. So I'm gonna do the thing.
Jolie, do the thing.
Hold the lever, crunk.
So you can find us on Facebook and TikTok at Boss Ravioli Queens. You can also email us, bossravioliqueens@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every single time we post a new episode.
Is it thumbnail?
And also, don't forget to leave comments, please. We like them. All right, everybody. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.